Hey there guys, so yeah, I thought I'd do a prediction video for this Naoya Inoue versus Stephen Fulton fight that's coming up in a few weeks time, as it's one of the most anticipated fights of the year, and yeah, should be one of the most high level fights of the year, because both guys are obviously fighting at a very high level. So going into this fight, I had never seen Stephen Fulton fight before. I'd seen a lot of Inoue, I've seen a lot of his fights, I've been watching him for years, but Fulton I had never seen fight, and I was quite surprised that he was going over to Japan to fight Inoue. And credit to him for that, because not many American world champions travel to their opponent's backyard to fight them. So yeah, I went on the internet and I watched a couple of Stephen Fulton's fights. I watched the fight against Figueroa, I watched the fight against Kagai, and I watched a couple of other fights, and the game plan for him is going to be obvious. He's going to try and outbox Inoue on the back foot. He's going to try and avoid his power, and he seems to throw a lot of punches, so he's obviously going to be trying to outwork Inoue in every round, and he's just going to be trying to get a decision. And I think he will be able, if he outboxes Inoue. Japan's always been very fair with scoring, and yeah, you can get a decision over there. I mean, remember when Murata fought Undam, was it? I think it was Undam. Most people thought Murata won that fight, but he didn't even get the decision in his home country, so it will be definitely possible for Fulton to get the decision. There's no doubt about that. And to outbox a guy like Inoue on the back foot, you know, a guy who's going to be pressuring you all night and who's going to be coming forward looking for the knockout, you need to be able to get this guy's respect. And Stephen Fulton only has 8 knockouts in his entire career. He's never really shown power at world level, and even when he was building up, on his way up, like he was fighting guys who weren't anywhere near world class, he never really showed that much power against these guys. He doesn't seem to have like the best punching technique for generating power, and yeah, he just seems to be more focused on throwing a lot of punches as opposed to throwing hard punches, and I think that will definitely work against him in this fight, because you have to be able to keep a guy like that off. If he's just able to freely walk forward without any fear of what's coming back, then yeah, he's obviously going to be able to have more opportunity to land his punches and knock you out. And I've been seeing a lot of the narrative online is that this is a 50-50 fight. Well, the narrative with some people is that this is a 50-50 fight. Stephen Fulton can outbox Inoue. He's got great movement. He's got great boxing ability. He's going to school Inoue. He's bigger. And yeah, he is bigger than Inoue. Inoue's never fought at 122 pounds before. He started out, what did he start at? Light flyweight, I think. So yeah, Fulton's the bigger man. I think he's got a reach advantage, he's taller. But I think some people are overrating Stephen Fulton. I mean, when I was watching him, when I was watching his fight against Brandon Figueroa, I mean, Brandon Figueroa was just a sloppy come forward brawler with poor defense, poor punching technique, doesn't seem to have much power. He's big for the weight, but he doesn't seem to be a great fighter or anything. I don't really think much of him. And he was just, you know, being that sloppy brawler that he always is, and he was putting Stephen Fulton on the ropes all night. I mean, he probably won that fight, to be honest, and Fulton got the decision, but Figueroa probably should have got that decision, because he backed up Stephen Fulton to the ropes all night. Fulton really couldn't escape the ropes. I mean, every time Figueroa would come forward, he would just back up onto the ropes and then trade on the inside. And I mean, trading on the inside with Inoue, if Fulton's going to do that in this fight, he won't last very long. Let's just put it that way. And I've never seen, like, when I was watching him, I didn't see much lateral movement. I didn't see this guy with great footwork or anything. He was just walking back, you know, just being put on the ropes by Figueroa. If he had great footwork, then he would have been able to hold the center of the ring and avoid being put on the ropes. You know, someone like Sonny Edwards, for example, never gets put on the ropes, or unless he chooses to. If Sonny Edwards wants to hold the centre of the ring, he will. And he's got great movement when he's on the ropes to get off the ropes, but Fulton never showed that in the fight at all. And from what I've seen of Stephen Fulton, the guy hasn't got very good defense. He gets hit quite a lot in fights, and obviously when you're fighting a puncher like Inoue, who hits a lot harder than Figueroa, by the way. I know Figueroa's a lot bigger, but Inoue definitely hits harder. And I believe Inoue will win this fight. I mean, Fulton is going to try and outbox him on the back foot. He's going to be throwing a lot of punches, which again could play into Inoue's hands. Inoue's a very good counter puncher. He can counter you over the jab, land his power shots, and yeah, I believe Inoue will win this fight. I just don't think Fulton has enough. I think there's a few levels between them, and I don't think he's got the power to keep him off. I don't think he's got the footwork to get away from him or avoid being put on the ropes. And yeah, I don't think he's got the defense, because I think he'll get caught quite often. And yeah, I think Inoue will knock him out mid to late rounds. Depending on whether Fulton, because if Fulton does a Paul Butler and just, tries to survive, then he can probably go the distance. But if he comes to win the fight, which I expect him to, I think he gets knocked out. And I think he gets knocked out sort of round 6 to rounds 10, maybe, something like that. But yeah, I definitely think Inoue will knock Fulton out, no doubt. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and yeah, God bless.